If I fell in love. Joseph, could you tell me a little bit about your personal background, like what school you went to and what parish you were raised?
Well, I was born in the parish of St. Catherine in the island of Jamaica. I was born the year 1949, early Saturday morning. Good. I went to primary school, actually get primary education, but afterwards, after looking around to see what I'm hoping to be, then I went to the Jamaica School of Art, Science and Technology. There was where I actually achieved all my artistic educations.
So you were raised in a more affluent background than a lot of the people who come, say, from Trenchtown who are into reggae.
I was...
You had more money. You were raised in a more, less of a ghetto environment and more of a rural thing? Rural?
I was a child that was born on a farm, gets good food to eat every day, my good rest, clean clothes to wear every day, go to church every Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And all the rest of all that. Yeah.
Just a second. I want to put these on. Joseph, where was the school that you went to?
Well, I changed 3 primary school. First, started going to infant school. Then after the ages of infant school was no more to be, then I went to the first primary school, which is Point Hill Baptist School. Then I was there until I was about 13. Then I left to John D. Bolas Primary. Then a part of the family happened to be moving from that section. Then, you know, they hire your guardian, then you got to move too. Then I went to Mount Industry Primary School, that's on another side of St. Catherine. Then from there, after the days of my schooling was over, well, I wasn't really properly supported by a father, but I had ambition, and my mother is a very hard worker. Well, my father died, and I decided to do a little thing and finish sending myself to school. So because of that, when I was doing my artistic training or thinking to go to the Jamaica School of Art, I did not go to a parent for a school fee. I did that all myself. Yeah.
Were you interested in playing music and guitar playing at the time?
Well, I was really interested in music ever since the day I was born, because I used to be with junior choirs from the ages of 5 years old. And all these times I've got very good applause. So
you've got a beautiful voice.
Yeah, it's like I was talented from even what some people would say too young. Yeah. Most people told me in those ages that, you know, I was too talented to be too young, to be so young. What would I do with so much talent? And I said, well, the time will come when it all got to be used up, man. So when I know I actually start tapping on some music now, that was when I was about 8 years old. I used to go about in the bushes and get myself condensed milk tin. You know what I mean? There are some small cans.
Oh, cans, right.
Yeah, small cans that they used to put milk in, condensed milk.
Oh, right.
Then I would cut out the top and the bottom and leave only the barrel shape around it. Then I get some clay and I put around it, man. And after I put the clay around it, then I get a piece of jean or khaki and make the drum top. And then I get a small piece of stick, then I wet the clay and paste on to that and stretch down. But actually when you finish that with the clay, you would not get that proper tone that you would need. Then you know you run to a tree called the chocha tree or the bean tree and get some of that bean leaf. Then that juice that caused the bean to grow, I tell you, it raises the height of sound. It can also use to convert sound, the juice of the bean leaf.
Great.
Which thousands of people, millions of people don't know that, but that's the way I were really born in the music. Then after a time when I gets bigger, the art and the music together. Well, after that, I made sure that I could find my way around and, seat up. Well, after that, we said, well, then, it's like we love music this much and we know that we can make it. That was years before meeting Kenneth and Ralph.
What kind of music did you listen to over the radio or whatever? What were your influences at the time that you liked a lot?
Well, to tell you the old truth, it's like I love music no matter what's the style. I'm just a music fan. Yeah. Well, let me say, after we came to a size as young men where which we said then, I would, get together and try to get in a band or something like that. I did have a friend called Anthony Morgan, Festus Walker, Ronald Clark, and I believe it was David Whittaker, which was our friend, which was my friend really. And they were the only musicians I know around Linstead in that time. Then one night we said then, we are going to strike up a little thing. We don't know where it will head off to, but we are going to strike a little thing up. Then decided to strike this little thing up. Then the only instrument we had in that time was only a guitar, acoustic guitar, and one giant of bamboo that we used to make. We cut it around with a saw, grooving it around, let it provide the sound of a grilla. See? And then after playing that by night and practicing songs like Behold the Land and all that, I wrote that song when I was pretty young.
How old?
Yeah, I wrote it when I was 12 and a half, and I got to record it when I was 14 years of age.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's your oldest culture song.
Behold the Land on Coxon's label, Sir Coxon's label. That time I did all my works under the name Joseph Hill, which is my proper name. Then after getting this band together, this so-called band, which I think it's most authentic to get a band together that way. And after we were there for a couple of weeks playing on our one-box guitar and our bamboo and whatever, one night I went to rehearsal and I saw a piece of round lid. The lid of something, but it was really round shaped. It was plywood about 3/16, Then I took it with a piece of bicycle tube and I strapped it down on my leg and I start getting a drum sound from that. And because of that on the grilla now you got guitar and percussion sound. Well, time and ages grow and we said, well then we need a band. And we hustled until we got ourselves a nice guitar. But before we got this guitar, the first job we got is that we got a job in Dintil High School to do a concert, a cultural concert that night.
Was this still in St. Catherine, or were you in Kingston by now?
In St. Catherine, on the way from Linstead to Bagwalk. It's about a mile out of Linstead town, going towards Bagwalk. Well, after getting this little job together, well, we decided that we didn't want any pretty garment with the money. We want a pretty instrument. That was our ambition. And then we went ahead. There was a certain brother who taught Anthony Morgan to play drums. His name was Woody. Is Woody. He's living in Ocherius at the moment, working at hotels, etc. Well, ever since we get that drum from Woody, when we got it, it was like a piece of drum. A little piece of drum. Believe me, Peter, it was like a piece of drum. But the ambition still remains that we should have a band. And we went to this brother who had this piece of drum, which is Woody, and we bought it from him. He got a very good little price for it, to the condition that it was, but the wants was more than the worth at the moment. So, you know, we sort of got it, and we tuned it up. And every day we play and find a fault, we amend it, and amend and amend and amend and amend until, you know, finally we got rid of 75% of the faults. Then the first job we got on that drum set now, it was by Yorton Community Club. Then we went by Yorton Community Club and we did a good job.
Were you called Culture now?
No, same Josephville. And then we were there and there until, you know, Freddie McKay came in and he made the song of that same little band, The Picture on the Wall. You heard that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Space of 8 weeks, it went to the top of the chart. But I were one of the people who played and harmonized and so forth, and that song, which, you know, at least they didn't recognize me as a singer, because Freddie McKay was there way ahead, and at least I was a very poor boy. I couldn't really show up high,
right.
But nevertheless, the seeds of potential is still growing. And it was still growing at the moment. But when I went to Mr. Dad with the first song, he said, well, oh, you know, I don't like, and I don't like, and I don't like, and he likes, and he don't like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What promoters are.
Yeah.
Anyway, I made myself, you know, sort of satisfied with the deplorable conditions. And through that time, you know, from that time, I did a record, and he put it out on a small 45.
What was it called?
Behold the Land.
Right.
Now we call it Behold.
Right.
Yeah.
That's on your album, Africa Stands Alone, right?
Right, but really, because I was being exploited with the exposure,
Yeah.
and at the same time the financial aspect around it was quite deplorable. I think more or less then that I should re-render this song
Right.
to see what I could get as my first song.
Right.
And whatever I achieved from that song, I didn't spend it, I invested, even on a goat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I make it to be a remarkable shot, you know. So
Joseph, what year was that when you recorded that? How old?
I was 14 years old. Wrote the song when I was between 13 and a half and 14.
Did the song become a hit?
No, it never, because the evening when I went to Mr. Dad for the first payment of royalty, out of my own royalty, I bought my friend 2 stout to drink, and he was very much against that because he and my friend was at war, and because of that he exploits me. But I think this is one of the mark on the way, you know. If you could listen, the songwriter, the Asian songwriter say, and many a weary steps he took to be back with God. So it's like for myself, many a weary step I took to be in the music business.
So how did you finally hook up with Culture? How did that happen?
Well, I afterwards used to be in the band in Ocho playing bass, drums and different. Likewise Montego Bay and the coast really, to be short. And one day I went home in the far country, and there I saw Albert came along to visit. I must say that myself and Albert were a blooded family. Then he came home to pay a visit to his grandma, and there we met I. Then he said to I, we want to form a group. I said, well, I'm not into it because the guys of today, they are not real serious and they're going to waste my time and where I really want to go. It is better for me to go alone and be serious rather than to be in a bunch of laughers. Right. He said, well, I'm not one of those which is full of laughter in my face. You could trust me because I've got another brother, and if anything, we could probably form a trio group. But I know that if you are not in this group, it will not go on. And if we find you and you are in this group, nobody cannot stop it. Well, we took the courage and we went ahead. We did our first recording as a group 1976.
Is that the 2/7's Clash?
No. The first song that we did as a group, it was called This Time. Well, it was banned on the Jamaican radio because it has got too much truth and rights in it. And
what are the lyrics to it?
Going on in that time, you know?
What are the lyrics?
It said, burning an illusion in a Babylon. Burning an illusion in a Babylon. Aya? Yes. If Babylon kill one more Rasta man, the sun will stop from shine and the grass will stop from grow. You know? And
that kind of stuff.
yeah, that kind of stuff. And they didn't really like it, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because in certain age, they didn't realize who the Rastaman is, and they were really underestimating the Rastaman. They were trying to eliminate us, and we protest. Yeah, we protest because, and I know that, and I are human, you see, and I are, you know.
Joseph, how did you come up with the name Culture? Did you all decide on that together or what?
Oh no. When we actually formed this group, our original name was the African Disciples. But then when we get to the studio and start ringing out sounds like Burning an Illusion, the 2/7's Clash and all the rest of it, all the boys in the studio, including the musician and the owners of the studio, jumped up, especially a group called the Marwells, led by Blacker. They said, but no, this group is no African Disciple. You are a culture, because what the man them have storing up and do not want to tell the children, which is the truth, you are revealing it out. So, let's call them Culture. And they stamped the first record under the name Culture, and I did not ignore it. I appreciate it. Because, you know, it's the people's name, and I'm for the people's. I'm the people's man.
Joseph, what studio was that record made?
The Joe Gibbs studio in Jamaica. That's 24 Retirement Crescent in Kingston.
I've read that you felt very badly about how Joe Gibbs handled you and that he kept all the money and didn't give you enough credit, that kind of thing. Is that true?
Yes, it is true. It is true. Maybe he did this because I was young and thinking that I did not know better. But little did he know that I know better. Because a person which do not know better cannot affords to talk wisdom.
That record did very well, though, the 2/7's Clash, right?
Yeah, and up till now, Joe Gibbs did business with it with Lightning Records, and he did not indicate all the priorities that it did have to offer to us, and you know, it wasn't a lot of credit that I got on that record, which is my first album, which I felt very badly about, right? Because he wrote on the record that it was written by him and Errol T, right? And believe you me, I must say this again to the world, that Joe Gibbs cannot even play you a piece of percussion which only contain of 2 pieces of stick, because you know that a pair of drumsticks can make you a very beautiful percussion sound. And he could not play that in time. Okay, so you know, you could see what he's been doing to us that caused us to rebel and leave the stable. Then when he found out that we were leaving the stable, he was quite amazed. Finished many tanks of gas, trailing us down. Get hold of us, but we would not get hold of him.
Then I understand that he put out a record without your permission, that he took the tapes before they were done and they put out a bootleg record or something.
Well, that wasn't really done by Joe Gibbs. That was done by April Records, which until now I'm wanting to find them because we must have some discussion. But these guys are so unfair, they are so dishonest, you know. It's like the most rotten section of the world in music is America, because there are lots of mafias. That's the reason why during the years from that happened to me, I never joyed to come to America. I hate the place for all that.
You mean that was an American record label that did that?
Yeah, April Records. It's being originated from New Jersey.
How did they get hold of the tapes?
Well, they went behind my back, and we had a deal together, okay? And like the engineer saw him, was there and saw him handling tapes, and he came by, which I blame him so much to do, but he gave him a mix. He went and told the engineer that he wants a demo to go back downtown to play on a reel-to-reel tape which he has got in his house when he never lived in Jamaica. See? And there it went. Was quite rough, which up to now the world know that I'm not to be blamed, but you know, I'm still feeling badly about this.
Do you still feel badly about America now that you've been here?
Well, yes, my bad feelings still remain, but not as awful as before.
On this tour that you're just finishing up now, have you had a good time and feel positive about the experience?
It is a good time, positive about the experience, and I've met people which, you know, of course, it's nice to meet people like those.
So you have bad feelings about Joe Gibbs and about this label in New Jersey. Do you have any other bad runnings with any other producers, or has everything been pretty cool otherwise?
Well, the only thing about the rest of producers, they don't let you be up to date enough about your business. They, you know, they are more on the managerial side rather than the production side.
Do you do your own records now? Produce your own?
Yeah, I'm doing my own records too, but at the same time I've got a lot of material on the I Note label, which, you know, I've got to put it out.
The 2 Sevens Clash, the lyrics of that song seemed to cause quite a stir in Jamaica, and people didn't know what the 2 Sevens meant. Can you explain that?
Well, the 2 sevens, it's like when the truth is going to meet the wrong. See? Because 6 is the Pope number, but 7 is the truth. See? Because if you look up in the top of the Pope's cap, do you know the 3 numbers that are there? Okay. Let it remain.
What's your favorite album that you've done so far?
Well, it's between 2 Sevens Clash and International Herb. Well, I couldn't really lay down the credit up on one album because all albums are good. All good shots, but there are, I know I've got 3 shots, 2 shots on Harder Than the Rest. One, Tell Me Where I Get It, and the other one on Kumbala called Payday. And on the International Herb, there are 2 favorite shots. International Herb and Ethiopians Want Go Home.
What about a song that you did in sort of a Rasta beat, So Long Babylon? How come you don't sing in that form more?
Well, there you see to really form your band, playing that Rasta beat and having your reggae going together at the same time. It's like the people do love this music very much, and they would enjoy it. But the promoters, it is as if they want to eliminate your traveling capacity, you know, what amount of people you should travel along with, and they're not even concerned about the sound. Because of that, I'm going to stop work on the stage. Yeah, I know this.
In other words, you're saying you couldn't sing a song with a boom boom beat if you wanted to?
Yeah. It would be the best balance because you got the most stereo,
Right.
you know? But at the same time, we got to go in big places at all times.
Right.
See?
Right.
We couldn't, I'm not prepared to cope even with small places because in Europe we doesn't go in small places, big halls, very big halls, and very, very seldom that it could take more after we get in.
Joseph, do you feel any sense of competition with other, say, threesomes like the Meditations, Mighty Diamonds, or do you feel like on your own level of excellence and you don't worry about how well they're doing?
Well, I am totally not worried about what anyone is doing because I know everyone has got their own message to take out. See? I am not in a feeling, I'm not in possession of a competitive feeling. No. I've never yet wanted to compete even though I will not lose.
Do you listen to what else is being put out in reggae and sort of say, hey, that's good, let's try something like that, or is it completely from your own creation?
Well, when I listen to a next person's sound, it only rings a bell to me that reggae is getting farther, but never really patronize it to do a second version because it's totally out of the way. That's unprofessional.
What about some of the white reggae bands like Police and the sort of ska movement in reggae? Do you like that type of sound?
Well, I don't mind somebody try to play reggae, but play it proper.
Yeah.
Because at this age and stage of reggae, if they don't do it good, they are making the people to understand that reggae is not valuable. And I know that reggae is valuable. Reggae is about a music which you got to put the most effort in.
Totally. Yeah.
See? Because you got to be on an unusual timing to make the people heart feel usual. So, check it out, it's like, you know. But I would say, if a band is playing reggae, please play it properly, please. Please play it properly. Otherwise, you know, we got to make a stop to a certain set of things that's been going on because I've seen people riding on the backs of reggae. And the people who originate reggae is not getting anything out of it, and we got to step down on that, okay?
I hate that.
And anybody we find doing this will be in court for it.
Give me an example of what you mean by that. Like who?
Look, listen to me. I am one person who writes my own material, okay? Now check a song like Rivers of Babylon with Boney M.
Yeah.
Was originally written in Jamaica by Brent Dower, the Melodians, okay? And at the same time, they don't even want to pay Brent Dower for that. Which I think, if you take a person's song and rewrite it and he did not get money, I think you are worth it to be in prison just as if you kill a man. Yeah, it's the person's livelihood you are squeezing, man. But they know the best why they don't try such a trick with me. Because I think they smell something because they look how original I comes. And they know that they must feel a way. But I would tell them whether they feel it, yes or no. Do not touch my material behind my consent. Otherwise, it shall be real drastic. I shall seek all musical advices. I shall seek all legal advice towards it. And I ain't got to seek it because I've got a very good lawyer.
What about a song like This Train that you do? That's not your own particular song, is
It's
it?
belonging to the slaves. So Bunny Wailers did a version and I did a version which there is nothing. Bunny cannot own it and I cannot own it.
Right.
Okay, that's a
Is
slave
that the
song.
same with So Long Babylon, or is that your own?
Well, it's my own. Okay. Yeah, apart from a song of the slave that we used to juggle in the cane feel, a song of freedom, a song to appeal freedom universally. That doesn't touch a person's product. You wrote your product 19, how much and I know, or 18, how much and I know. No, I'm not with it. I always get a better kick or a better uplift, get higher doing my own thing.
I think that your group culture, and you in particular, definitely the greatest. You know, I've been a fan ever since I heard the 2/7s clash, and I'm just really honored to be able to talk to you. I really love your music.
So, what about the shows? Do you like them, those you have been to?
Yeah, very much so. I wanted to hear Zion Gate. I felt sad about that.
Well, you just missed it a couple of nights ago.
But other than a few, I also wanted to hear Forward on to Africa. But other than that, you did all my favorite songs. You have great stage presence. I like the way you sweat. I think the backing band could have been a little tighter with the horns.
Yep.
But other than that, it's last night was one
Not
of the,
really my band from Jamaica,
I know.
you know.
What is your band in Jamaica?
The Revolutionaries.
Do you tour a lot in Jamaica too? Do you play down there much?
In Jamaica? I do most recording and resting in Jamaica. Yeah, might do a show or two, but you know, it's like I prefer either to work for good money or meaningful charity or do not expose my work at all. That's it. Either meaningful charity, worth the amount of money that my work is worth, or no way. That's me.
What about the new form of reggae that's become so popular lately, the rub-a-dub style, you know, people sort of, you don't like that kind of jocular type of reggae?
What you're saying?
Like Michigan and Smiley, or, you know, General Echo.
Oh, the DJ type of reggae.
Yeah.
Well, it's not new.
Well, it's taken on a different form recently. Just a da-da-da, kind of like a, I don't know, musically it sounds different to me. Rub-a-tub, I think it's called.
Yeah, rubber dub. Well, is that the way rubber dub is being arranged? See, you got to do a little more mechanical addition to the rubber dub. Reason being, it's not of that immense potential that the singer has got, because the singer has got to lay a thing first, then they hear the rhythm and say a couple of things. So you could see the singer is the author of the song, you know. As for a singer like me, because from I've been writing until now, I didn't take a line even from my brethren beside me. I do all the writing myself. I find it very confusing to do people's work.
Yeah, really. How about the future, Joe? And then I know you have to go, so I won't bother you anymore. Do you think reggae is going to continue to evolve and there'll be new forms, or do you think it's going to sort of, what do you think of the state of reggae these days?
Well, I think reggae shall go from nation to nation, because every nation has got their troubles and reggae is here to put out the trouble. So if there is a roach in the house, you got to buy disinfectant to get them out. That's it. So reggae has become a disinfectant to the variation of a nuisance in life.
But I'm talking musically. Do you see arrangements being more varied, let's say, with more solo instruments, or just, it seems like the form of reggae has sort of settled into a groove, and I don't know where else it can go. Do you have any ideas?
Well, reggae will be all over. Reggae will be all over. It shall not stop. Neither bad mind nor human psychology cannot stop reggae anymore, because anyway the people see good things, they'll claim it. Even if it is not on a very, very large commercial scale, right? Which we know that reggae has been exploited over the years. Nevertheless, we never give up. That's what happened to reggae singers. They are the most faithful set of bitches known. Okay? Yeah, because what we have passed through, oh God, it's more than tongue can tell. Yeah?
You've got 2 albums that are waiting to come out right now.
Tell
me about it.
Well, I've got, excuse me. I've got an album like soon be coming out. This album, The Black Roses, and right there at home, right at my bed head, I've got the Sign of the Lion there. I will not let any promoter have any handling over that one, because maybe they're going to tell me, dub this and dub that into it, when I know the exact message that I got for that whole album. See, even Andy over there, I've been wanting him to do some work on that album, but he wasn't really stable sometimes. Sometimes he was in Kingston and sometimes he was all over, but I admire the way he played his guitar. As a brother from Boston.
Yeah.
Hartford. I'm mistaken, pardon. He's from Hartford.
Right.
Nevertheless, United States of America.
Right.
Hartford.
What's the other album that you have recorded?
I told you that it was Black Roses.
No, I heard there was 2 of them you got.
Yeah, Black Roses and another one called The Sign of the Lion.
Oh, the Sign of the Lion. Are they going to come out soon?
One will, while one won't. The reason for that, I think one will take more working. Dependably the sound that I want to get. See? That particular sound that I'm going to get, then I have to do a lot of hard work here.
Okay, Joseph, I know it's time to go, so I want to just thank you.
Sure be time.
Thank you for being with us today.
Okay, and I'm here in Boston, thanking the people for their turnout, thanking the people for their behavior, thanking the people for their daily support while I'm absent, thanking the people to be what they are and not to be nothing less than what they are, and thanking the people to keep the faith, thanking the people again for their support. This is Culture, Joseph Hill, lead singer, vocalist, writer, author, arranger of the group.
And brilliant and kind human being. Thank you.